This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Get ready with your legal questions and call Patrick now. 877-943-9673. Again, that's 877-943-9673. The law office is open. And now your host, Patrick Smith.
Oh, hi there, and welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Today is Saturday, April 2nd, and we will be with you for the next hour to answer your legal questions. Again, I'm local Central Florida Attorney Patrick Smith, multiple office locations to better serve you throughout the Central Florida area, including Clearwater, Sun City Center, over in Claremont, also in beautiful Winter Haven, Florida, my hometown. So we're happy to serve you any of those office locations, and we're happy to serve you this hour by answering your legal questions. So you can call in now. We are live. We are local. Open phone lines, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. Always excited to see who the first caller of the show is going to be and kind of set the tone for the show. So you can be that first caller today, 877-943-9673. You can always email your questions, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. I want to start off with a very special thank you to Joe Weaver, Brian, Jose, Yana, and everyone else here who worked so hard last week with the team over at What Radio at Stetson University to help us put on that very special broadcast live from Stetson University's Model Senate. Went off without a hitch and had an absolutely fantastic broadcast from the Stetson University radio station, which I attended my entire undergraduate career there and had no idea that we had a fully functioning radio station on campus, but now I do, and I broadcasted from there. So, and that was special thanks to the team here at Salem. So we appreciate you guys so much for helping out with that, and we would love to do that again next year. So we're planning on it, and we'll be broadcasting back from What Radio next year. So if you have a question, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673, or you can email your question, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. All right, I want to start with a topic that's a little bit outside of my bailiwick because I don't really do criminal defense, but I feel like there was an issue this past week that arose, and many of you are aware of this issue that occurred at the Oscars. And it has led to an increased amount of questions at the law office about use of force and defense of others, and sort of a whole line of questions came in. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Oscars and what happened at the Oscars on Sunday evening, Chris Rock was doing his presentation and actually went in and made a joke regarding Will Smith's wife, Jada. Mr. Smith took offense to it and proceeded to approach Mr. Rock and strike him with an open palm. So the question becomes, was this a reasonable use of force in defense of his wife? And I think the issue is pretty clear under Florida statute. Florida statute 776.012 covers use of non-deadly force, which is permitted when you are in imminent fear of unlawful use of force. And I think that's the critical thing here. Now, granted, this happened not in Florida, but if it were a Florida case, to say that Mr. Rock's words were putting Mr. Smith in imminent fear of unlawful force is a stretch. I mean, it was a dig at his wife, and was it in poor form? Sure. But it's also a comedian making a joke, so there's that too. Comedians make jokes, sometimes that offend people. It happens. But it doesn't mean it rose to the level of a threat of unlawful force against Mr. Smith or his wife. So if you have an opinion on that, you can call in and express it as well. Maybe you have a question about that. 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the show goes on. I want to get to our first caller of the day. Let's go to Greg. And Greg, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hey, Patrick, how are you doing?
I'm great, Greg. How can we help?
I have a quick question here. I have a medical marijuana card. So my question is, if I were to get pulled over and the police decide, I always refuse to let them search, but if they decided to do a free air sniff with the dog around my car, now I have a medical marijuana card and it's legal for me to possess that, that dog is going to alert on my car. Does that give them probable cause to then search my car?
I think now it depends on whether or not you show them the medical marijuana card. I said you said you definitely refused them the right to search, but in this hypothetical, Greg, did you show them the card?
Absolutely, that's always with me.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's sort of, I think it's officer discretion is what it's going to come down to. So the question becoming, just because you have a medical marijuana card, Greg, doesn't mean you get to operate a vehicle while you're under. Go ahead.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if they decide, if I refuse to search and the dog does a free air sniff around my car, if I'm carrying my medication, the dog is going to alert on my medication, which I legally possess.
Yeah.
Does that give them the right to then search my vehicle against my wishes for probable cause?
It probably, I mean, I don't know. It's a question for a criminal defense attorney, and Matt Kendalls, who I work with. I was just having lunch with Matt yesterday, and I'd be happy to put you in touch with him on Monday, Greg, and he can give you the best answer on that. My guess would be probably, yeah, it does give them probable cause to search the car. The question would become, what do they find as a result of that search, and whether or not that becomes a Fourth Amendment case? Was it an unlawful search and seizure? Where did the search stop being lawful and become unlawful? So it's a gray area question. It's a great question, and I'd be happy to put you in touch with Matt on Monday so that he can give you the best answer.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Greg, but be safe out there, okay?
All right, always.
All righty. You're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. You can give us a call now. We're live and local. You can email your question, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com, or give us a call, 877-943-9673. Great criminal law question there to start, regarding a Fourth Amendment case, unlawful search and seizure. And that is a fantastic question. So if an officer has probable cause, of course, they have a right to make a reasonable search. And the question becomes, well, if you know the person's in possession because they have a medical marijuana license, does it still give you the right to search under probable cause? Probably yes, I would say. But it sounds like an officer discretion issue. But a fantastic question nonetheless. So 877-943-9673, or email me, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. So back to the topic that we started the show with regarding the interaction between Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars. Everyone was talking about from the perspective of Will Smith, being offended on behalf of his wife, and talking about, was it appropriate the way he defended his wife's honor or reputation? I think, categorically, most people agree not, because these were words volleyed at his wife, not physical assaults, and Mr. Smith chose to defend it with a physical assault. From my perspective, and maybe it's just the from my law school days, making it a law school fact pattern, I was thinking about, well, what about Chris Rock's perspective? So I'm Chris Rock, and I'm standing on the stage, and I've just made this joke, which apparently landed sideways with some members of the audience, namely the person that was addressed to. And I see Will Smith walking towards me. Now he's walking, directly at me. He doesn't have a balled up fist or anything, but what if Chris had, struck Mr. Smith first? That's a gray area too. Because if he's just walking at you, is that, an imminent apparent unlawful use of force? So if his fist is balled up, I think that's a different act. Here, it was just Mr. Smith approaching Mr. Rock after he made a bad joke. Now, some people may say, well, the timing of the joke and Will Smith approaching him immediately after, there was an imminent threat there. But credit to Chris Rock. I mean, he was a class act and a consummate professional. Even after he was struck, if you notice, he didn't touch his face once. He made a remark about it, And then he went on with what he was there to do. So kudos to Chris Rock for being a professional's professional that night, for literally turning the other cheek and moving on with what he needed to move on with. So it was one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen on television. And in Florida, know that you don't really use physical violence to defend against someone's words. Now, those words can obviously escalate. Someone saying, hey, I'm going to harm you, or I'm going to harm some member of your family. That obviously changes things. But anyway, that is the Will Smith, Chris Rock interaction via Florida Statute 776.02 on non-deadly force. If you have a legal question, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. I'm your local Central Florida attorney, Patrick Smith. Email me your questions as well, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. All right, let's go to Clearwater, Florida. Let's talk to Steve. Steve, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Yes, hi.
Hey, Steve.
I'd like if you could give me some information. I'm a landlord of a commercial building that had multiple tenants in it, and this is in New Jersey, by the way. The state treasury department had come in and padlocked the door for lack of sales tax payments from the tenant. They did not give me a key, and there's a sprinkler system and gas and things that could possibly be an emergency where I have to go in. What is the procedure how they have to deal with the landlord, being that they only have an issue with the tenant?
Whereabouts in New Jersey?
Harrison.
Harrison. How is that close to the city, or is it like closer to Pennsylvania? Where are you?
Oh, yeah, 5-10 minutes outside of New York.
Okay. The short answer is, Steve, you're going to need a New Jersey attorney. But when you talk to the New Jersey attorney, I think you're going to start with the lease, and then you're going to work out from there under New Jersey General State Code statutory provisions and take a look at all that. But the short answer is I'm limited because I'm a Florida lawyer. This is a Jersey case, and you're going to need a New Jersey attorney to help you with it.
I understand that.
Do you have counsel in New Jersey?
Yes, I do. I'm waiting for them actually to get back to me, but in the meantime, this looks like it's just going to go south there with it being padlocked, and I just want to know if there was a standard of how the landlord has to be treated, even though they're dealing with a tenant that didn't take care of their side of the taxes. It has nothing to do with me.
Again, as a Florida attorney taking a stab at it to help Steve out on a Saturday morning, my hunch is that it's going to be the answer is going to be a hybrid of some combination of the lease into which you've entered with this particular tenant and New Jersey state code. But wait for that call from your Jersey attorney and see what they say. I'm going to defer to whatever they recommend, Steve.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck with it. And let me know what happens. I'm kind of curious on that one myself.
Okay. Thanks again.
You're welcome, Steve.
Bye-bye.
All right. You're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of our program today. 877-943-9673. Open phone lines get you and your question right on the air. So we've had a couple of great ones already to start the show. Medical marijuana to kick us off. And now we've gone into commercial landlord tenancy, which, by the way, on these landlord tenant deals, always make sure you read the lease. Well, first of all, let's go back. Always make sure you have a lease. So I think that people say, well, at the start of a landlord-tenant relationship, they seem like good people, and I don't think we're going to have any problem. The lease is not for those times. The lease is for when things go south. It's a contract. It's designed to give you peace of mind when something goes awry, like the situation Steve's dealing with, even though it's a Jersey situation. There you got a situation where a tenant is not performing some of their duties, it sounds like, pursuant to the terms of the lease. So Steve's got rules under the lease they've entered into. So make sure you have a lease. And then not only make sure that you have it, make sure that you are reading it and aware of it. Make sure you've reviewed it with your counsel. You understand the terms, conditions. A lot of people come to us and say, would you mind reviewing this lease? And I tell people all the time, when we review the lease, you can learn a lot about the other party on the other side of the lease that you're working with. using something that I call the sonar strategy. So if you're not familiar with sonar, sonar works by not the signals that go out, but it's the signals that bounce back to you that tell you everything that you need to know. So when you're dealing with someone in a lease negotiation, when you go back to them and say, hey, we were wondering about, paragraphs 3, 7, and 12, we would like to tweak some things. A good sign from the other party is, oh yeah, we're happy to discuss that with you. Let us know what your concerns are. We'll address the things we can. If we can't change something, we will tell you why, those sorts of things. What you don't want to hear is, no, that's our lease. Pretty much take it or leave it. That's, you're learning information either way about the party with whom you're dealing. So I really think that back and forth is going to be telling for kind of the tenor of that landlord-tenant relationship. So I think that entire leasehold negotiation under a landlord-tenant situation really gives you a good insight into what your future with that particular landlord or tenant is going to be. But it all starts with making sure you have a lease. So for those of you out there renting a property, whether it's commercial or residential, make sure that you're protecting yourself with a good lease. 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of our program today. Or you can email your question, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com, or give us a call now, 877-943-9673. And to make sure I do it early and often, the office line, if you want to give us, and lots of you are, we are overwhelmed with the number of calls from those of you who listen faithfully to the show. So thank you for that, first of all, for all your faithful listenership, and then for calling the office and scheduling your appointment. We really appreciate that. So if you want to do so, the office line, 877-754-6764. Again, for any of the office locations, Clearwater, Sun City Center, over in Claremont, for those of you listening on the AM 760 signal, 877-754-6764. So that's your toll-free number. Give us a call Monday through Friday, and we will be more than happy to get you scheduled for your complimentary consultation. For those of you interested in our estate planning services, the basic will is $75, the power of attorney $95, the living will $50, and our trust package, which includes all of those above items, $695, which is a very popular package for a lot of people who are interested in avoiding guardianship and probate, and also interested in doing our next topic, which is Medicaid planning. So for a lot of people out there, they're elderly and they're concerned about, how do I make sure my loved ones are protected if they wind up going into some sort of nursing facility? Florida's rubric is, we got to look at your need level, your asset level, your income level. These internal specifics change every 6 months. But you have to make sure there are certain documents in place so that if that day arises and you wind up in this facility and you don't have the capacity to do the planning yourself, to reposition your wealth according to this plan, you've empowered someone through documents to do the planning on your behalf. So typically in those situations, you want to make sure you have a good power of attorney in place that's current and up to date. You also want to make sure you have a good healthcare surrogate, a good advance directive. You want to make sure you have trust commonly to make sure certain assets are able to be shepherded during that period of incapacity on your behalf. So it's called planning for a reason, and that's why we set these things up ahead of time. And that trust package helps a lot of people get these things set up for loved ones or for themselves to make sure that if that day comes, because statistically, most of us are incapacitated for some period prior to our passing. So having these documents set up ahead of time goes a long way to protect your family and reduce a lot of these major expenses. Indeed, in some cases, eliminating them altogether. 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of our show, or email me, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. All right, let's go to Bobby in Sarasota. Bobby, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
How you doing today?
I'm great, Bobby. How are you?
Good. Quick question. So I had a local pool company, fairly big, and they had a bunch of stuff that they destroyed in my pool. So I had went to court and I won everything. I was just by myself. I didn't have an attorney. So I got the full judgment. I got court fees, and I got a 4.5% interest rate. Well, the problem is there was no real date where they had to pay. So I knew that they had so many days to appeal, which that has passed. So when I contacted the court, they said what you have to do is go register, the piece of paper,
The judgment.
a judgment at City Hall. I did that. Then I got it registered with something else. And then on the thing, it said you have to wait like 10 days. And then I could go to the sheriff's office and send them something. Well, my problem is, what do I send them? And how do I go about having them pay it on a certain time? And, like originally it's at 4.5% interest. It was based on a calendar year. So that means, do they just have to wait a whole year and they don't give a grab and pay it? So my question is, at this point, I think next week I have an appointment with an attorney, but they're just going to, it's just initial consultation, which cost me a certain amount of money. I don't care. So that question, how do you go after them? And what is their responsibility? Or what do I go after there?
Well, let's make a deep dive here on this particular question. First of all, is the pool finished now?
No, it's still damaged, and that's why I need the money to repair it.
Okay.
It
And
was $11,000.
that's expensive work. Did you have counsel representing you in this, Bobby, or were you pro se?
Yeah, I was supposed to. I had went to small claims court first, and then I realized the bill was a lot higher. And when I went into small claims court, the good thing is the judge, she was a female. She was nice. She goes, well, I called it big boy court. I go, we had to go to now. And she was the judge on that, too. So we had just pushed it on.
Hold on, Bobby. Let's back up a second. That's not going to be lost on me. Did you call it big boy court in open court?
No.
Okay.
I call it. Like, in other words, I went from small claims to real court.
Okay.
And at that time, I had all the documents, paperwork, information. And so I just, represented myself in the sense of, just because I had all the information and everything. So, but I did win. And I got all the judgment. And she gave me court fees. And she gave me, that interest. So
the other side even show, or did they just no show and basically you got a default judgment?
No. Unfortunately, like, you hate to say it, but the guy's done it so many times. At the last minute, he tried to pull the COVID thing the day before. And it was like, no. So we ended up, we did a, face thing over
Zoom.
But
like a Zoom hearing. Yeah.
Yeah, and he threw a bunch of junk up and, lied like hell. But I had, thank God, all the pictures, all the documents, all that stuff. And she was great. She realized that. So that's why I got everything.
Well, we've got a lot of excellent members of our judiciary here in the great state of Florida. And it sounds like you were in front of one of those fine members of our Florida judiciary. So the short version is what you need now is a civil litigator, not so much for the lawsuit side, but you're collecting on a judgment. And I work with one. I'm happy to introduce you and put you in touch with them, but it's basically a matter of going and collecting your judgment. And there are certain nuances to this. And I know there's rules about, judgments expire unless you reapply for them. So he will keep you safe on that. His name is Scott Smothers, by the way. And if you give me a call at the office on Monday, I'll put you in touch with Scott's office and he'll do a fantastic job helping you collect that judgment.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Bobby. Good luck, and good luck with the pool. That stinks to have, because I'm sure that's just an eyesore, and every day you wake up and you have to stare at it.
Yeah, it really is crazy.
Yeah.
But like I said, now it's just a matter of if somebody's like, oh, I don't care, and I'll just wait, whatever. So that's, I guess, the big thing now, trying to figure out. I didn't know, but I'll go from there.
All right, Bobby. Well, give us a call on Monday. I'll give out the office line here shortly, and we'll look forward to talking to you and getting you squared away on collecting that judgment.
Okay, thanks.
All righty, Bobby. All right, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of our program today. 877-943-9673. Open phone lines. We'll get you and your question right on the air. So a great question there about not only civil litigation, but the inside. So you're the prevailing party. And now you need to go get your money pursuant to your judgment. How do you do that? And that's a big step. And a lot of times you can't get blood from a turnip. So if the person doesn't have the money, How do you get it then? Well, you have to wait until they come into the money and then you go and get it. And there's an art to collecting judgments. That's why there are attorneys out there who do that for a living. So if you need help with that, we'll be happy to put you in touch with a very, very good one. 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of our program. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. Your job, call in with a legal question, and we will do our very best to help you live on the air. 877-943-9673, or email me, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. Patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com is your email address, and we will be happy to answer your email questions live and on the air. Speaking of email questions, let's throw it over now to Peter the intern for our first email question. Gosh, it's probably been a few weeks since we've done email questions. We might need to dust off email questions. So Peter, go ahead.
Okay, so this first email question is, can I take any legal action? I am currently in the process of settling my father's estate. My father does not have a will, but had a joint bank account with one of my two brothers. My father wishes upon his death were for that brother to take the cash and distribute it evenly in thirds. My brother is now refusing to release any money and actually denying that it exists.
No. No.
He's taking it all for himself? What?
Tell me more. So, no, this is a very common fact pattern, actually. So you see this where parents have this idea that the child will do the right thing, and then they learn of something called gift taxes. So Florida code says that if there's a jointly held bank account that's not specifically devised in some sort of testamentary vehicle, like a will or a trust, so it's just a jointly held bank account, A and B both own it, A dies, that account belongs to B. It's not controlled by A's will. It could be if it's made specifically referenced in the will, but most cases, that's not the case. So in this particular fact pattern, A owns the entire amount. I mean, and then B gets added to the account. A dies. Now it's B's account.
Well, and if he was to give it to his other siblings, wouldn't there be gift taxes?
Yeah. So if he's turning around and wanting, and I'm using air quotes for those of you who aren't watching. By the way, special thank you to all those of you watching on Facebook and Instagram. If he does the right thing and he's beyond the present interest annual exclusion, that's the amount that you're allowed to give away free of charge, which is currently $16,000 per person per year. If he does that, he could be subject to gift taxes, or at least filing a 709 allocating unified credits to account for the gift taxes. But he's giving up part of his unified credits. That's a well he's dipping in to do this right thing. So his accountant's going to tell him something like this. Look, you can keep this money tax-free, or you can give it away and pay taxes. Boy, let me think about that. So at the end of the day, it's just a product of bad planning. It's a matter of the decedent there should have set up some sort of estate planning tool to memorialize their wishes, and that would have avoided this sort of precarious spot where this particular joint account holder is left with two bad choices. I either give it away and pay taxes potentially, or at least give up unified credits, or I keep it all and alienate my family. That could have easily been avoided with good planning on the part of the decedent. So even though they're going to want to blame the family member whose name is on that account, it's really the decedent who owns the primary blame there. I mean, they're gone. You can't blame them. So you're going to have a situation where the living loved one is going to become the whipping boy for this situation. And that's unfortunate. But again, that's more of a commentary on bad planning. So for those of you out there with that plan, fix it. Memorialize it with a good licensed estate planning attorney here in Florida. And it's not very expensive. You just do a simple will at our office at $75. So it's not a very expensive document to create to memorialize that plan. So great question, though. 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of our program today. 877-943-9673, or email me, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. All right, let's go back to Clearwater. Let's talk to David. David, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Thank you. I had a problem with some water pipes, and my insurance company approved for water restoration, and then they had to redo my whole kitchen in essence. They kept telling me they were going to come out and pick up their check, and they never did. Now, I never had an address for them, so it was sort of hard to send. But I finally ended up getting the address and sending it to them. Now, they sent me an email response saying, yes, got the payment. But then the following day, I get a thing that they're putting a lien against my house. How do I take care of something like that?
Yeah, you just have to dispute the lien. I mean, if they've been paid in full, I would just, file a dispute for the lien. And you can either do that yourself or hire a counsel to do it. If you want to talk to an attorney about it, give us a call on Monday, David, and I'll be happy to point you in that direction. But if they've been paid in full, I would dispute the lien, file a copy of the canceled check and say that they've been paid. So there's no basis for a lien.
Yeah, because the paperwork they sent me from the lawyer's office told me to contact the lawyer's office. And I've contacted them twice and they've never responded.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like to send laypersons to contact opposing counsel. I feel like it's a little bit like leading the lamb to slaughter. I think if there's an attorney on the other side, David, get an attorney to represent you. I know it's going to cost a little bit of money, but it's really well worth it for the peace of mind. It's just a situation where it's not going to be an equal fight if you're going up against their attorney and you're not a member of the bar holding a law license. It's not a fair fight. So you just need someone there to protect your best interest.
Okay, one of my best friends a lawyer, so I guess I'll.
Well, that's great. Well, there you go. You have the answer in your back pocket. Is your best friend a Florida attorney?
Yes.
Perfect. Just reach out to them, and there you go. You got an ace in the hole.
I appreciate it.
All righty, David. Thanks for calling in. Have a great day, okay?
You too.
All righty. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, and we are here to help with your legal questions. 877-943-9673. Lots of judgment questions coming in this morning. 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of our show. Or you can email me, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. You can email me 24/7, actually. We do answer email questions throughout the week, but during the show, we answer them live on the air. So that email address, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com, or you can just give us a call. We have open phone lines. Get you and your question right on the air with us. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. Give us a call now. We're happy to help any way we can. So Peter the intern, going to circle back to him for a second because it was weeks ago. But Peter and I were at the office, and I made the comment to him, and I said, Peter, do you think you could host your own radio show? And without missing a beat, he goes, absolutely. I mean, there was zero hesitation. So I'm not going to have him host the rest of the show because he doesn't hold a law license. I don't want to deal with that. But I do have a little bit of a quiz for you, Peter. So one of the things you need to know as a radio show host are your various affiliates and your bylines. So I'm going to let you pick. Do you want me to say the radio station and you come up with the byline? Or do you want me to go over the byline and you come up with the corresponding station? It doesn't matter. I get to pick. Okay, here we go. So we're going to go down the list. And I'm going to give you the byline. You tell me the corresponding station.
Okay.
You ready? Number 1. This is an easy one. Let's Talk Faith.
There's like 8 of them, though. So 102.1, 930.
To be clear, there are 2.
Okay.
And they're both directly over your left shoulder.
570, 910.
Hey, you got it.
There we go.
A little assistance. Pretty good. All right. This one you're going to get for sure. This was the softball of the list. Your community radio.
Yeah, I do not know.
Oh, they're going to be so disappointed. And we're going to see them on Tuesday, too. Sun Radio 96.3 out of Sun City Center. Ooh. I don't envy you on Tuesday. All right. Number 3. News, insight, passion.
Let's go 970.
AM 860.
Man.
AM 860. 0 for 3.
Man.
So, all right, last one. This one I think you'll get. Real, raw radio.
102.5. The Boat.
You got it.
There we go. I
You
finally
got it.
one.
You got one. 1 for 4. So you're hitting 250, Peter. But good job. And that's the end of that bit. But Yeah, to keep studying, Peter. I mean, you're approaching the idea of having your own show. I'd say first work on,
Actually, no,
law
English
school
station.
admissions, and then an actual law degree, and then a bar license. But you're right there. You're right there. You just got to keep at it. But no, that was a fun little exercise for Peter, the intern here. All right, we've got lots of calls here. Let's go to Bradenton and let's talk to Danny. Danny, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Well, thank you, sir. It's good
Hey,
talking
Danny.
to you.
Yeah, great talking to you, Danny. How can we help?
Well, my mother had willed me a lot and my sister a lot, and my sister decided she wanted to sell hers. So to keep my mother being able to use it, I told her I would buy it from her. She wants me to say I bought it for $100 when it's actually like $10,000 because of the gift taxes and all that. But is there if I go down to the courthouse and say I'm buying a lot from my sister for $100, are they going to say you're crazy?
They might say you're crazy, but that doesn't trigger a tax. What'll trigger the tax is the IRS is sort of onto this one. People say, well, I'm not going to gift it away. I'm going to sell it. Okay, great. I'm going to sell it for $1. Yeah, that doesn't make it not a gift. So you have to sell it for fair market value. And where people get creative here, Danny, is they do these sweetheart deals. So let's say the property's worth 10, which means, sister's half is worth 5. So they say, well, if it's worth 5, it's only half of a property. So it's not like I'm selling the entire property. So they try to argue that there's some sort of, restricted marketed title, it's a part ownership in another property. So they'll sell it for like $3,500, or they'll try to pick that number that's just close enough, but still giving someone some kind of break. So I think you can probably do that a little bit and argue for certain discounts, but I don't think you're going to be able to get away with it for $100. I think the IRS will be onto that one. I think, if you do that, just make sure you get with your accountant and assess any gift tax liability there.
Okay, well, originally I tried to get her to give me the property, and then I was going to build my mother a house on it. And then when she died, we could sell the both of them. But she was going to do that originally, and then she decided, well, why would I wait to get my money? If I'm going to sell it, I want to sell it now. So if she would have gave it to me to build a house for my mother, would that have worked? So we can combine the property.
Well, that would have just been an outright gift. I mean, then she would have been. Granted, if the total value of the gift is $5,000 and it's happening now, it's under the $16,000 present interest annual exclusion, so it's going to be excluded anyway from any gift tax.
So if it's under $16,000, there's no tax on that anyway.
$16,000 per person per year. I do recommend consulting with your accountant though, just to make sure you file a 709.
You are my accountant.
No. I am an attorney. I am not your accountant. I hold no accountancy license, but I can put you in touch with some very, very good accountants. Matter of fact, Dwayne Bischoff was on the show a couple weeks ago, and we can't get him back now. It's tax season there. I was shocked, and I take it as just a testimony to Dwayne and I's friendship that he, in the middle of tax season, made time to come onto the show. I was really touched by that. But no, I can put you in touch with Dwayne, and he can walk you through any tax liability there, Danny. But you need a good accountant to give you the ins and outs of any tax exposure there.
All right. Well, I appreciate that very much, sir.
You're welcome, Danny. You have a great day, and good luck with everything, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All righty, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number, 877-943-9673. Give us a call at the office during the week if you want to set up your consultation, or if you want one of those referrals we mentioned earlier. The office number, 877-754-6764. And that office number, toll free for the Villages, Claremont, Clearwater, Sun City Center, any of our locations, 877-754-6764. But to be part of our program today, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. All right, the phones are lit up. Let's go to Wesley Chapel and talk to Chuck. Chuck, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm great, Chuck. How can we help?
So, a little crazy. My sister passed of an overdose.
I'm so sorry, Chuck.
Yeah, it's been crazy. A week and a half later, her girlfriend of 30 years also passed of an accidental overdose. So their house is paid off, and they have a survival deed. And I don't know what to do. Who gets the house? Who do I have to? I'm trying to get everything all situated, but I don't know where to start.
So we do a complimentary review on these, Chuck. So if you want to get me the paperwork, call me at the office on Monday. I'll actually review this with you free of charge, just to give you a point in the right direction. Okay. But it sounds to me like we have a situation where the two parties here own the property with a right of survivorship. And that means since sister died first and girlfriend died second, more than likely girlfriend owned the entire property.
Wow.
And that means that it goes to girlfriend's estate per her will, or in the absence of her estate planning documents, it would go under the intestacy code.
So there is no will.
Yeah. So then you would start looking to the girlfriend and see, did she have any children? Did she have any parents, any siblings? And it would go under what we call the table of consanguinity under Florida probate code. And that just means the next blood relative pursuant to Florida intestacy under the Probate Act.
Okay.
But I'm
Okay,
sorry
that's
about your
crazy.
sister, Chuck. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's been terrible. The fentanyl stuff is crazy.
Well, just give us a call at the office on Monday, and at least we'll get you some peace of mind about kind of the days ahead with regard to the property and what that's going to look like.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
God bless you, Chuck. We'll say a special prayer for you, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith, 877-943-9673. Again, these phones are hopping today. Let's go to Newport Richie and let's talk to John. John, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Good morning. How are you guys?
I'm great, John. How can we help?
Okay. I got an aunt and uncle, mid-80s. The aunt has Parkinson's, and it's been getting worse. She doesn't walk very much at all. Uncle is starting to go a little senile. They moved down here from New York, and we've been basically taking care of them for a little while now. They got about $500 grand in the bank, and somebody told my wife that they're too old to put it in a trust, because if the state deems them incompetent to and puts them in a resting home, that we won't be able to get any of that money, and the state takes it. Is that true?
No, is the short answer. The state's not simply going to swoop in and take assets away because someone was in a nursing home. Sometimes assets get spent, and that's the sort of spin down approach you hear all the time, where someone goes in a nursing home and then they simply impoverish themselves by burning through their money with that particular facility and then going on state assistance. That sometimes gets portrayed as the state taking it, but that's not what's happening, John. It's really the facility spending the money down. There are options to avoid that sort of spin down strategy, and that's what I was talking about sort of towards the top of the show with the Medicaid planning and making sure a will, a power of attorney, healthcare surrogate, advanced directive trust is in place. So those instruments can be critical to make sure that whatever the optimal protection is for aunt and uncle can be implemented at that time. See, in a situation where aunt and uncle can captain their own destiny, they can always do their own planning. But these documents are designed to allow someone that aunt and uncle trust to do the planning on their behalf if they're not able to protect themselves. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So it's not so much a fear of the state swooping in. It's more about just making sure that you have nimbleness and you're maneuverable so you can be as dynamic as possible to take avail of Florida statute to protect aunt and uncle as best as you can under Florida law at the time they need that level of care.
Right. But is it illegal for them to say set up a trust next week and say, X amount of dollars goes into here for the family and everything, if by chance by that time in a couple of weeks that she goes to a nursing home and he can't live by himself?
Is it illegal for them to do that?
Yeah, is it illegal for them to put it in a trust right away?
I don't know of any criminal statute that says it's illegal to create a trust and fund it. So I don't know that it's criminal, anything that they're doing. So no is the short answer to that question, John.
Okay, I appreciate your help, sir.
You're welcome, John. Good luck to everybody, okay?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. All right, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith, 877-943-9673. You're listening now on one of our 14 family of stations who carry our show. So we appreciate that. And I was talking to our programming director, Joe Weaver, this morning. Officially 6 months now on the air. So, and he said, no, it hasn't been 6 months. I said, yeah, it's been 6 months and it's just flown by. So absolutely thankful for all of you faithful listeners out there, including Chris in Tampa. Chris, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hey, Counselor, how you doing?
I'm great, Chris. How can I help?
I know time is short. Geez, I wanted to ask you, last time I talked to you, it was around Christmas time. I asked you about getting some extended hours on the weekend here. What's going on?
Yeah, you know, it's just a matter of if we extend the show. Right now, Monday through Friday, my days are absolutely jammed.
Okay.
And on Saturday, I already come in on the morning. And so basically it's taking another hour away from my family if I extend the show. So I'll be honest with you, I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm not crazy about taking more time away from my family. That's the real holdup, Chris. And I know you're not the only one. Lots of people want me to extend the show and add a second hour. And I appreciate that. And I love the support and the demand for the show. At least they're not calling in and saying, get that bum off the air and, you know, cut him to half an hour. So I appreciate the fact that people want more. And I love that. And I thank you all. It's just a matter of making time for the family. It's really what it comes down to, Chris.
Okay. Real quick, my wife wants to open a joint account with her brother that would have probably no more than 1,000 or 1,500 at any time. He's in Philly. We're here in Tampa. Is there any downside legally or tax wise?
You said it's a husband. It's a husband and wife scenario.
No, it's my wife and her brother.
I mean, I just see the liability concern. So if you're adding someone to an account and that person's in a car accident or generates some sort of liability, we have the concern about, you know, them coming after that account, although the amount here is not particularly large. So it's the concern is directly driven by the amount in the account. If it's $1,500, it's not the end of the world. If it's 15,000 or 150,000, obviously the concern grows.
Okay, so there's no worry outside of that account. I mean, my wife.
No, there's no gift tax exposure because it's under the threshold there, that number, and the liability concern is a concern, but it's a nominal amount, relatively speaking.
Yeah, even if somebody did commit it, I'm just worried about it pertaining to my wife in any other way with her other accounts that she has in my name with me.
Yeah, I don't think it gives them an end to those accounts. No, I just don't think you add brothers named any of those accounts, and I think you're bulletproof on those.
Okay, so that might be okay then, just to have a small account with her and her brother.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem, Chris.
Okay, all right, great,
right.
Thank you.
And thank you. I promise, if we decide to add a second hour for some reason, I'll make sure you find out about it, Chris. Okay.
All right, you got my vote.
All right, I appreciate it, Chris. All righty, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. We are plumb out of time for today. So write this number down for next week, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673, or to reach me at the office, 877-754-6764. Again, that toll-free office line to schedule your complimentary consultation, 877-754-6764. And again, a sincere thanks. I get all the fan mail. We haven't done any recently, but I get all your praise and feedback and demands for more. I appreciate it. I treasure it. I thank you for it from the bottom of my heart. And I cannot tell you what your support means. Everyone stay safe. God bless, and go Gators.
proceeding was sponsored by the law offices of Patrick L. Smith.